Hello, today I have a message called the peace of God. Okay, the short version, you're always asking for the peace of God or for an illusion that would oppose the peace of God. You are walking home with all of your divine siblings. When you see one of them in a different way, remember that you are walking home together. You are being led by that which unites you. Anchor yourself to their being, not to their persons. Their persons are tissue thin. Whatever is in disorder or disarray can be put right in an instant. Okay, so you're always asking for the peace of God or for an illusion that would oppose the peace of God. And I find this to be true. I can tell by how I feel. If I don't feel good, it's like I'm down on my knees begging for an illusion instead of what's really here. The funny part about that is what is really here would solve any problems I see, and it is my happiness. It is my eternal happiness. It's the eternal happiness of everyone I call other, and to think of myself being down on my knees begging for an illusion that would block that out, I can see how crazy that is now. So you're always asking for the peace of God or for an illusion that would oppose the peace of God. When I'm finding a problem in a person or in the world, I'm distracting myself with the idea of that, with the vision of that, the illusion of that is probably more accurate. And in that moment, I'm asking for disturbance. I'm asking for illusion. I'm asking for God to be covered up. It's my habit, so that's why it feels comfortable enough that I do it. But right now we're kind of melting out of, or breaking out of this habit. And we're understanding, I can always constantly be in the position of asking for, being open to the peace of God and not letting the appearance of any surface disturb me. I can know that's the illusion I made, but it's okay. Because what's here to carry me through and out of the illusion is here for everyone. And even if I've projected all these scary different forms on everyone and everything, what's here to carry everyone through and out of the illusion of form, the illusion of all the stuff that covers up the peace of God, it's right here for all of us. And I can allow that. Everyone has the power to allow that. So that's where our real power is. If I get distracted by looking at power playing out in the world I made up, the false power of one being able to overpower another, I'm just distracted for a while, but it's temporary. I won't be distracted forever. And right now I can learn to look away from the distraction toward the peace of God and see that that is real about everyone eternally. Everyone has this peace. Everyone is this peace. Okay. You are walking home with all of your divine siblings. I didn't turn the heater off. When I remember, I do, because I know you can hear the air there, but I forgot. Okay. You are walking home with all of your divine siblings. When you see one of them in a different way, remember that you are walking home together. You are being led by that which unites you. So instead of that which seems to separate us, that which unites us is real. And if I see both of us or all of us being led by the same thing, that tends to put things in perspective. This is a together thing. So wherever I see opposition, I'm distracting myself, but only temporarily. I can only distract myself for so long. And I can turn back toward God. I can see us all being led by the same thing. I can see the same thing that is in the heart of God and in the hearts of all of us, and I can see us all being led together, kind of led by the heart. You are walking home with all of your divine siblings. If I'm upset, I've forgotten that someone's my divine sibling. They're a being. I think they're a person. I'm totally convinced they're a person. I'm totally enamored with or distracted by their mask. Either in a positive way, this mask is the best and better, or in a negative way, this mask is the worst and threatening. But they are not their mask. I don't walk around on Halloween thinking all of the costumes are real. I know that there's a being underneath the costume. Okay, when you see one of your divine siblings in a different way, like different from you or different from someone else, remember that you are walking home together. That's the important thing, the together thing. We're all walking home, and we're all walking home together. And I need to bring it down to that level of simplicity and throw all the judgment about what the person seemed to be doing or how the person seemed to be out the window, because anything disturbing about what a person seems to be doing or how a person seems to be is my own fearful projection upon them. So if I think, okay, we're all walking home together, we're all being led by that which unites us. What unites us? The peace of God. That is real about us. So if I bring what is real about us into the foreground and focus there, then any thoughts I need, if I need to say things or perform actions, those thoughts will be clear and obvious. But it's safe and it's okay to take the time to do this work in mind first and to really put at the forefront that we're walking home together, that we are the same, that we are being led by that which unites us. Then what I need to do or say can become obvious to me. Anchor yourself to their being, not to their persons. I just got the opportunity to do this. I was on Facebook this morning, and I revisited groups I hadn't been to in a while, and I could see where I was anchoring myself to persons and not beings. So it was good practice. I was aware of these judgments, maybe judgments I'd tried to cover up or deny before, but now they were loud and clear. I was finding something wrong with the way people were expressing, and I could understand in that moment I can anchor myself to their being, not to their persons. It was hard. It's not easy, because those were judgments I had denied and not really addressed. But it's easier right now. So the more we practice, the more we remember they are their being, they are not the person. The person is the mask. The mask can either remind me very directly of who and what we all are together, or the mask can seem to assert that things are real that can never be real. The mask could be very disturbing, or the mask could be a very direct pointer to what is real. And that part is up to me. What am I going to see? Now, that's just their mask, and their mask does seem to transform, and everyone's mask seems to transform to point directly toward home. But while I'm still projecting fear out on all these beings, I can just look toward their being. I don't need their mask to be a certain way. Yeah, I think their mask does change. It does change radically. Mine too. But that's not the point right now. The point is to look toward their being and understand that is what's real, and that's what allows the mask to become a much more direct pointer that, hey, I am a being of peace. And I'm just walking toward home with you, and I've been innocent forever because you've been innocent forever, and no one can be anything but innocent. So all of our masks will eventually point quite directly to that. But if I try from the perspective of the ego to change my mask or yours, that's not going to work. I have to look toward the being and remember that the being is what we actually are. It's the real thing about all of us, and be reassured by that being. Then the masks are allowed to point very directly toward home. So, it's a confusing time. It's a deep time. It's a transformative time. Okay, their persons are tissue thin. When I'm upset, I'm not seeing this. I'm not seeing that the person is, the being is significant, the person is the surface. I'm treating the person as substantial and real, and I'm not seeing who they really are. So when I get the reminder, their persons are tissue thin, I understand I'm not supposed to spend a whole lot of time fussing over the person. I'm supposed to look toward their being, receive instructions from our shared being, and then in an interaction with persons, if I'm supposed to say or do things, I will. It'll be natural. Nothing could stop me. Just like nothing can stop me from the things I say or do that come from ego right now. Nothing can stop that except doing thought work and then reorienting toward being and allowing our shared being to determine what this person's going to do or say. Same thing, it might be pretty easy for my speech and action to come from ego in certain areas. But as I work to reorient my mind throughout the day, it becomes easy to allow the speech and action, if they are needed, to come from our shared being, to be inspired, rather than to be kind of forced from fearful ideas. Okay. I feel like I'm going to go much deeper into that in the coming days, but I think that's all for today for that issue. Okay. Whatever is in disorder or disarray can be put right in an instant. So ego can get us fascinated with something it calls a problem, and then the ways that this something should be solved. And I'm starting to recognize this magnetism, this fascination. But if I am reminded, whatever's wrong can be put right in an instant, because it's just a perception, and perception is actually very flexible, then I don't necessarily get stuck in the fixer role and try to fix it from an ego perspective. I'm more likely to kind of rest and wait and stay calm and wait for instructions. So that reminder is helpful for me. Whatever is in disorder or disarray can be put right in an instant. I really need to pause when I believe that something's in disorder or disarray, because I've forgotten that divine order is real, and disorder and disarray is my illusion. And I can't allow my illusion, my misperception, to be corrected from a state of panic. And then further, if I try to speak or act from that state of panic, it's just going to get me more of the same. And I finally understand, I don't want more of the same. I want a more direct reflection of what we actually are. So if I can just rest in that reminder, whatever, big or small, is in disorder or disarray can be put right in an instant, my faith in that expands and becomes more apparent. And then it's not surprising to me when things just seem to correct themselves. And the idea of torturous effort goes away. Where my effort belongs is in being aware of how I'm feeling and responding appropriately to that immediately. But taking these moments to rest in the calm and to know whatever's in disorder or disarray, apparent disorder or disarray that you're perceiving, can be put right in an instant. From here, if I need to do or say something, it's easy, it's obvious, it's not hard. If it seems someone else needs to do or say something, the way is open for it to flow forth. So when I pause and I see that everything can be put right in an instant, and I'm not judging problems, and I'm not judging people involved in problems, and the way is open for everyone, the conduit is open from spirit to us, for spirit to communicate very easily to all of us in harmony, and for all of us to arise and do our parts easily, without stress, without tension. And that way is open. When it's open to one, it's open to all, everyone working together. This keeps getting pointed to over and over again, so it's slowly becoming the reality for me that I see, oh, everyone works together. And when I settle down into this place where I know we're being and we're not person, the way is open for me to witness everyone and everything working together. So it's a very beautiful thing to see. If it's only on the level of the mind at this point, then once we accept and allow, the experiences start coming in to show us this and to back it up, and then we have more faith and trust in it. Okay, hope this was helpful for you, and happy healing.